12 seconds. That is all the time a Customs and Border Protection officer needs to decide if you pass or fail. 12 seconds to scan your face, read your body language, and form a first impression that could send you to secondary inspection or wave you through without a second thought. Most travelers have no idea this test is even happening. They walk up to that podium completely unprepared, fumble through their answers, and wonder why they ended up in a small room being questioned for 2 hours while their flight connection boards without them. Here's what nobody tells you. The questions immigration officers ask are not random. They are designed to test you. Each question has a purpose. Each answer reveals something about your intentions. And in 2026, with enhanced screening protocols and new technology, the margin for error is smaller than ever. Today, I'm going to break down exactly what CBP officers are looking for, the questions they will ask, the answers that raise red flags, and the responses that get you through smoothly. By the end of this video, you will walk up to that immigration counter with confidence instead of anxiety. Let us start with what actually happens when you land. When your plane touches down and you step into the arrivals hall, you are entering what the government calls a port of entry. At this point, you have not officially entered the United States yet. You are in a legal gray zone where Customs and Border Protection has enormous authority to question you, search your belongings, and ultimately decide whether you can enter or not. This is important to understand. Your visa or travel authorization only gets you to this point. It does not guarantee entry. The CBP officer standing at that podium has the final say, and their decision is based almost entirely on how you answer their questions in the next 60 to 90 seconds. So what are they actually testing for? CBP officers are trained to verify 4 things. First, they want to confirm your identity matches your documents. Second, they want to understand your purpose for visiting and whether it aligns with your visa category. Third, they want to assess whether you have the means to support yourself during your stay. And fourth, they are watching for any signs of deception, inconsistency, or potential security concerns. That last part is where most people fail without even realizing it. Here are the core questions you will face and exactly how to answer them. Question 1. What is the purpose of your visit? This seems simple, but it trips up more travelers than any other question. The officer wants a clear, direct answer that matches your visa type. If you're on a tourist visa, you are visiting for tourism. If you're on a business visa, you're attending meetings or conferences. The mistake people make is over-explaining. They say things like, well, I am here to see my boyfriend, but also maybe look at some apartments, and I might check out a few job opportunities while I am here. That answer just raised 3 red flags: potential immigrant intent, possible unauthorized work, and vague, unstructured plans that suggest you might overstay. The correct answer is short and specific. I am here for tourism. I am visiting family. I am attending a business conference. One clear purpose, nothing more. Question 2. How long are you staying? Officers ask this to verify you understand the limits of your admission. For most tourist entries, you will be allowed up to 6 months, but that does not mean you should say 6 months unless that is actually your plan. If you're staying 2 weeks, say 2 weeks. If you're staying 3 days, say 3 days. Be specific and be accurate. The red flag answer is something vague like, I do not know, maybe a few months, depends how things go. That sounds like someone without a clear departure plan. That sounds like someone who might overstay. Question 3. Where are you staying? Have your accommodation details ready? A hotel name and city is sufficient. If you are staying with family or friends, know their address. What triggers additional scrutiny is not knowing where you are staying. Saying something like, I will figure it out when I get there, makes you look unprepared at best and suspicious at worst. Question 4. Do you have a return ticket? For visitors from many countries, proof of onward travel is technically required. Even if it is not strictly enforced, having a return ticket demonstrates you plan to leave. Not having one raises questions about your intentions. If your travel plans are flexible, at minimum have some evidence of onward travel. A flight reservation, even a refundable one, removes doubt. Question 5. What do you do for work? This question serves 2 purposes. It helps establish your ties to your home country, which suggests you will return, and it helps verify that your stated purpose matches your professional background. A software engineer visiting tech companies in Silicon Valley makes sense. A software engineer visiting for tourism who happens to have a laptop full of code and client emails raises questions. Answer honestly and briefly. Your job title and a simple description is enough. Question 6. How much money are you bringing? Officers want to know you can support yourself without working illegally. You do not need to carry large amounts of cash. Mentioning that you have credit cards and sufficient funds in your bank account is perfectly acceptable. What you should know is that if you are carrying more than $10,000 in cash or monetary instruments, you are legally required to declare it. Failure to declare can result in seizure of the funds and serious legal consequences. Question 7. Have you visited the United States before? Answer truthfully. They already know the answer from their database. What they are really testing is whether you will be honest. If you overstayed on a previous visit, this is where it comes up. If you had any issues before, this is when they will ask about them. Do not lie. They have your entire travel history on their screen. Question 8. Do you have any food, plants, or agricultural products? This might seem random, but biosecurity is taken seriously. Certain foods, plants, seeds, and animal products are restricted or prohibited. The safest answer is to declare anything questionable. Declaring something that turns out to be fine causes no problems. Failing to declare something prohibited can result in fines, confiscation, and additional screening on future trips. Now here is where things get more serious. What sends you to secondary inspection? Secondary inspection is an extended screening process in a separate area. You have not been admitted yet, but you have not been denied either. You are essentially in immigration limbo while officers investigate their concerns. Common triggers include inconsistent answers between what you say and what your documents show, appearing nervous or evasive, having a travel pattern that suggests possible overstay or unauthorized work, matching a name or profile in a database, previous immigration violations, or simply something that does not add up in the officer's assessment. In secondary inspection, officers have more time and more tools. They can search your luggage thoroughly. They can examine your phone, laptop, and other electronic devices. They can review your emails, text messages, photos, and social media. They can call your employer or the person you say you are visiting to verify your story. This is not theoretical. CBP conducted over 30,000 electronic device searches in 2024 alone, and that number is increasing. If you end up in secondary inspection, stay calm and cooperative. Answer questions honestly. Do not volunteer extra information, but do not be evasive. And most importantly, do not lie. A lie discovered in secondary inspection can result in denial of entry, a 5-year ban from the country, and a permanent mark on your immigration record. Now you understand what they are testing and how to answer the core questions. But there is more to passing this test than just knowing the right words. I put together a complete guide that covers everything you need to know about navigating airports in 2026. Not just immigration, but all the rules, rights, hidden fees, and shortcuts that can save you time and money. It is called the Airport Survival Guide. If you want the full system for traveling smarter, I left the link in the pinned comment and in the description below. Let us talk about body language, because officers are reading more than just your words. Eye contact matters. In Western cultures, making appropriate eye contact suggests confidence and honesty. Avoiding eye contact can be interpreted as evasiveness or deception. You do not need to stare, but do engage naturally. Nervous. Behaviors like fidgeting, touching your face repeatedly, or shifting your weight from foot to foot can trigger suspicion. Some nervousness is normal, and officers know that. But excessive nervous behavior combined with vague answers is a red flag combination. Your tone of voice matters too. Answering too quickly can sound rehearsed and suspicious. Answering too slowly can sound like you are making things up. Aim for a natural, conversational pace. Here's a critical point about documents. Have everything accessible before you reach the officer, passport in hand. Any supporting documents like hotel confirmations, return tickets, or invitation letters ready to show if asked. Fumbling through your bag while the officer waits creates unnecessary tension and slows the line, which officers do not appreciate. For international visitors, make sure your passport has at least 6 months validity beyond your planned stay. Many countries require this, and showing up with a passport that expires in 2 months can create complications. If you have an ESTA or visa, know your status. Know when it was approved, when it expires, and what it allows you to do. If an officer asks about your travel authorization and you cannot answer basic questions about it, that is a problem. Now let us address electronic devices, because this is becoming increasingly important. CBP has legal authority to search electronic devices at the border without a warrant. This includes phones, laptops, tablets, cameras, and any other digital storage. They can conduct basic searches, which means manually looking through your device, or advanced searches, which involve connecting your device to external equipment to analyze or copy data. Advanced searches require reasonable suspicion and supervisory approval, but basic searches do not require any specific justification. What does this mean for you? First, your device should be able to power on if requested. A device that will not turn on can be confiscated. Second, understand that anything on your device could potentially be reviewed. Third, if you have legitimate privacy concerns about sensitive business information, consult with legal counsel before traveling. If your device is taken, ask for a property receipt. Note the officer is name and badge number, and know that CBP can retain data for up to 15 years in some cases. Let me give you the questions that almost always lead to problems. The work question trap. If an officer suspects you might be planning to work illegally, they will probe. Questions like, do you have a job lined up? Has anyone offered you employment? Will you be doing any consulting work? For visitors on tourist authorizations, the answer to all of these must be no. Coming to work without authorization is one of the fastest ways to get denied entry and banned. The relationship question trap. If you are visiting a romantic partner who is a U.S. citizen or resident, officers may suspect potential immigrant intent. They want to know if you are really just visiting or if you are planning to stay permanently. Having strong ties to your home country, a clear return date, and a job or other obligations waiting for you helps address these concerns. The frequent visitor question trap. If you have been visiting the United States frequently, especially for extended periods, officers may question whether you are actually living in the country without proper authorization. 6 months in, 6 months out, 6 months in, again looks suspicious. Be prepared to explain your travel pattern if asked. Here's what happens if things go wrong. If CBP determines you are inadmissible, you face two main outcomes. Expedited removal means you are sent back immediately and barred from entering for 5 years. This goes on your permanent record and affects future visa applications. Alternatively, you may be offered the option to withdraw your application for admission. This means you voluntarily leave without the formal removal order. It is generally better than expedited removal because it does not carry the same automatic ban, though it still creates a record. Never sign any document you do not understand. If you are being pressured to sign something, you have the right to ask questions about what it means. For non-citizens, you do not have a right to an attorney during the inspection process itself, but you can request to contact your embassy or consulate. Now let me give you the preparation checklist. Before your trip, make sure you have your passport with adequate validity. Have your visa or travel authorization confirmed and accessible. Book your accommodation and keep the confirmation handy. Have a return or onward ticket. Know your basic itinerary and be able to explain it simply. Review what you can and cannot bring through customs. Consider what is on your electronic devices. At the airport, have your documents ready before approaching the officer. Stay calm and confident. Answer questions directly and concisely. Tell the truth, always. Do not volunteer unnecessary information. Do not make jokes. Jokes rarely translate well in this context and can create confusion. If something goes wrong, stay calm and polite. Ask for clarification if you do not understand a question. Do not argue with officers. Request to contact your embassy if you feel your rights are being violated. Document everything you can remember as soon as possible after the encounter. The reality is that the vast majority of travelers pass through immigration without any problems. Officers process thousands of people every day, and most interactions last less than 2 minutes. The questions are routine. The process is routine. But understanding what is actually happening during those 2 minutes transforms the experience. Instead of feeling like you're being interrogated, you recognize it for what it is. A brief verification process with predictable questions and clear expectations. You are not trying to trick anyone. You are simply demonstrating that you are who you say you are. You are here for the reason you stated, and you plan to follow the rules. When you can communicate that clearly and confidently, you pass the test. What about you? Have you ever been sent to secondary inspection? Did an officer ask you something unexpected? Share your experience in the comments. Your story might help another traveler prepare for what is coming. If this breakdown helped you understand what to expect at immigration, subscribe to Skip Airport Traps and hit the notification bell. Every week, I reveal the insider knowledge that turns stressful travel into smooth travel. Until next time, travel prepared, answer with confidence, and remember that 12 seconds can make all the difference. See you on the other side of immigration.